Hello, my name is Alexis Ross, and this is my persuasive speech for COMM 143. Okay, so when someone thinks of rape, what do they think of? Do they think about what happens to the victim or how it can affect them, or do they think about what society may view as rape? All of these suggestions can be different depending on the person being asked. Rape or sexual violence within relationships can include spouses or intimate partners, family, and the community, and how it affects each one of these categories in all of their different ways. Rape happens within relationships, and one of those relationships is involving another person. This person being one who is in an intimate or who is an intimate person in the relationship with the victim. This does not always mean that the one in the relationship with the victim is the one who is abusing or harming the victim. It still does happen, but that's not always the case. Some of these people experience trauma just like the victims go through. Research has found that intimate partners of victims/survivors may experience secondary trauma as a result of the sexual assault of their partner. It's from Secondary Victims of Sexual Assault. This quote alone shows that not all partners are the one doing the crime or abuse on the victim, and that they themselves can be going through some traumatic trauma as well. A common misconception of rape within spousal relationships is that it's always one spouse doing it to the other, and not that both of the people could be dealing with trauma, even if it only happened to one of them, not from the other person. Though rape does happen within intimate relationships. In fact, 30% of adult rape cases were committed by husbands, common law partners, or boyfriends, according to 21 amazing spousal rape statistics. This quote proves that rape or domestic abuse can happen within intimate relationships. So it doesn't always happen, but it still does happen. Even within workplaces, these cases can still pop up. Rape does not only happen within married couples, but it also happens to couples who are just boyfriend and girlfriend. Unfortunately, it still happens either way you look at it. Also, rape tends to happen more than once, especially in relationships. According to the article titled 21 Amazing Spousal Rape Statistics, around 69% of women who are raped by their spouse are raped more than once. So this quote proves that rape is not always just just happens one time and that's it. This quote also proves that rape within relationships is a huge problem for women. Another thing that normally happens with intimate partners is that the incident never gets notified to the police. In one major study, only 16% of rape victims ever notified local law enforcement about the incident. That's also according to 21 Amazing Spousal Rape Statistics. So this quote proves that incidents may go unnoticed due to the fact that many victims do not report their cases to law enforcement. Now, this could be the fact that victims are scared of telling their stories due to how society looks at them or how their close family and friends will think of them. Rape within relationships also includes family. Not only does the trauma affect the victim, but it also affects the victim's family as well. According to the article titled Secondary Victims of Sexual Assault, it says that the most common seen within family members is that secondary victims, which is what family member may be referred to as, experience the effects of trauma as well, sometimes with similar symptoms to those of the primary victims. So just like with, a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a husband or wife, family members who are not husband, could be sister, brother, mom, dad, they also experience trauma as well. And the fact from the article proves that not all sexual assault cases involve family members in the sense that they were the ones doing the harm. This also helps to show that family members may need help as well, just like the victim. Along with rape and family relationships, it means a lot to the victim due to how the family members respond, like how do they respond to their story. It can do a great deal of good or bad depending on that response. So research has found that the response of the family members to a victim/survivor's disclosure of the sexual assault, but particularly the negative responses, can be a determinant of how damaging the sexual assault ends up being to the victim or the survivor. That's also including the secondary victims of sexual assault. So this quote proves that family members need to think about how they respond to a victim and how their words can really hurt the victim, especially if it's negative. In other cases, family members may ask the victim to keep quiet or to lie about what truly happened to them. This can be due to the fact that the family members may not believe the victim, or they may not want the victim to deal with the backlash from society. You can see how the family member may think like, the backlash from society, but to hide what really happened to them is not very right. Either way, it can be very discouraging for the victim to be asked to keep quiet. According to the article titled Secondary Victims of Sexual Assault, pressure from family members on the victim/survivor to remain silent or lie about the sexual assault can be particularly damaging. It's just not good, I'm going to assume, for their mental health and many other reasons. This could affect many different aspects of the survivor and may damage them completely. Lastly, rape can affect the victim's community in many different ways. As with any form of violence, sexual assault tears at the fabric of community well-being. Schools, workplaces, neighborhoods, campuses, and cultural or religious communities may feel anger, fear, or disbelief if a sexual assault happened in their community. And that's according to Effects of Sexual Assault. This quote proves that sexual assault can have a damaging impact on a community. Citizens of the community will begin to feel unsafe or may fear for their own safety or someone else's safety, their family's safety, their friends. The community may feel angry towards the rest of the community for not being there when the victim needed someone the most. The community may also feel angry at the perpetrator and want to take their own action if they feel like maybe action's not being taken. But not only is the community affected emotionally by sexual violence, but financially as well. These costs can include medical and mental health services, legal expenses, lost work time and productivity, theft and damage to property, and the incalculable lost contributions of individuals affected by sexual assault. That's also according to Effects of Sexual Assault. So for the victims, they may need or want to get mental health treatment to help with the trauma that they may be enduring. And right after the incident, they may need medical assistance. Many different things that they could need. But some of these costs can be more expensive than one may think. Each of the studies examined in the White House Council on Women and Girls 2014 report, and then it's called Rape and Sexual Assault, a renewed call to action, used a somewhat different methodology, but all the found costs to be significant, ranging from $87,000 to $240,766 per rape. That's still according to Effects of Sexual Assault. So this quote proves just how much this could affect a community financially. And the victim may feel these costs are too much, or maybe that this is why some victims choose to keep quiet. Hopefully most victims do not feel this and still share their stories so that awareness may be brought to the subject. In conclusion, rape within relationships is a very big subject. Rape incidents and sexual violence affects a victim and their family in astounding ways, mostly in bad ways. It can be a hard time for the victim to navigate their feelings and whether or not to share their story. And that is their choice, whether or not they want to share the story. This could be due to the fact, though, that, they may be fearful of what they look like in the eye of the society, afraid no one will understand or believe them, or fear of what their family may think. So now, when you or someone thinks of rape or sexual assault, what will you or that same person think of? Thank you.